الرحمن الرحيم. مرحبا بكم أيها المشاهدون إلى هذه القناة المباركة إن شاء الله. Welcome again to our Arabic lessons on العربية للناشئين. وفي هذا اليوم سنستمر درسنا مع التدريبات حول الحوار المعمل. Today inshallah we're going to continue our lesson with the exercises below the dialogue المعمل, the laboratory. التدريب الأول يقول, the first exercise is أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Answer the following questions مستعينا بما تسمع, with the aid of what you hear, أو بين القوسين, or what is written between the two brackets. So number one, we have the question أين المعمل? That means where is the laboratory? And in the two brackets we have الدور الثالث, the third floor, meaning the laboratory is in the third floor. So now how do we say this? You see المعمل في الدور الثالث, the laboratory is in the third floor. So number two, we have أين المقصف? Where is the shop? And in the bracket we have الفناء, that is the open space, meaning the shop is in the open space. So now we see المقصف في الفناء, the shop is in the open space. Number three, we have أين الفصل? Where is the class? And in the bracket we have الدور الأول, the first floor, meaning the class is in the first floor. So now we see الفصل في الدور الأول, the class is in the first floor. So the next we have أين القلم? Where is the pen? And we have الحقيبة in the brackets, the bag, meaning the pen is in the bag. So here we see القلم في الحقيبة, the pen is in the bag. So this is how we complete this exercise. Now let's move on to the next exercise, and here we have an instruction that says استبدل كما في المثالين, exchange according to the two examples. And here before the two examples we have the sentence that says المعمل في الفناء, the laboratory is in the open space. So example one, we have al-maqsaf, the shop, meaning here we are going to exchange the word al-maqsaf with al-ma'mal. Instead of saying al-ma'malu fil fina'i, now we see al-maqsafu fil fina'i, the shop is in the open space. Example two, we have al-hadiqa, that is the garden, meaning we are going to exchange the garden with al-fina, the open space. So now we see al-maqsafu fil hadiqati, the shop is in the garden. So in the exercise, number one, we have the word at-tilmid, the student in the brackets, meaning we are going to exchange al-maqsaf with at-tilmid. So now we see at-tilmidu fil hadiqati, the student is in the garden. Number two, we have al-masjidu, the mosque. So now we see al-tilmidu fil masjidi, the student is in the mosque. So this is how we complete this exercise. Now let's quickly move on to the next exercise, and here we have an instruction that says أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية, answer the following questions. And in this exercise, the questions are based on the previous dialogue we learned in our last class, meaning that here there will be a need for us to go back to the dialogue al-ma'mal to be able to answer the questions. So question one, we have أين معمل العلوم? Where is the science laboratory? And according to the dialogue, the science laboratory was in the third floor. So here we see معمل العلوم في الدور الثالث, that the science laboratory is in the third floor. So question 2 we have أين معمل اللغة? Where is the language laboratory? And according to the dialogue, the language laboratory was in the open space front of the library. So here we see معمل اللغة في الفناء أمام المكتبة. The language laboratory is in the open space front of the library. So question 3 we have هل يريد عمر معمل العلوم? Does Umar want the science laboratory? So according to the passage, Umar wanted the language laboratory. So here we see لا يريد عمر معمل العلوم, that no, Umar doesn't want the science laboratory. So question 4 we have ماذا يريد عمر? What does Umar want? So Umar wanted the language laboratory. So here we see يريد عمر معمل اللغة. Umar wants the language laboratory. Question 5 we have هل تذهب إلى المعمل? Do you go to the laboratory? So here you can say نعم أذهب إلى المعمل. Yes, I go to the laboratory. So that is the end of the exercise. Now let's move on to the next exercise, and here we have an instruction that says هاتي أسئلة. Bring questions لما تحته خط, to the underlined words كما في المثال, according to the example. So in other words, we can say in this exercise we are provided with answers to some given questions which we are expected to provide questions to. So the first sentence we have is Al-Ustadu fil Masjidi. The teacher is in the mosque. So here we can ask the question, where is the teacher? So now we see Aina al-Ustadu. Where is the teacher? So after that we see Al-Ustadu fil Masjidi. So number 2 we have Na'am at-tilmidhu fil ma'mali. That means yes, the student is in the laboratory. So here we can ask the question, is the student in the laboratory? So how do we say that? You see, Hal at-tilmidhu fil ma'mali. Is the student in the laboratory? So then we say Na'am at-tilmidhu fil ma'mali. Number 3 we have Umar yadhhabu ma'a Muhammadin ila al-ma'mali. That Umar is going with Muhammad to the laboratory. So here we can ask the question, who is going with Umar to the laboratory? So here we say Man yadhhabu ma'a Muhammadin ila al-ma'mali. Who is going with Muhammad to the laboratory? Now question 4 we have Ashtari al-qalamu min al-maqsafi. That I buy the pen from the shop. So here we can ask the question, Aina tashtari al-qalam. Where do you buy the pen? So here we now see Ashtari al-qalam min al-maqsaf. So this is how you complete this exercise. Now the next exercise we have an instruction that says Idda, count, or Iqra, read. And here we are provided with some few numbers from the number 25 to 27 in both words and figures. So the first number we have is the number 25, and in words 25 is pronounced as Khamsun wa Ishruna. Khamsun wa Ishruna, 25. 26 is Sittun wa Ishruna. Sittun wa Ishruna, 26. Then 27 will be Sab'un wa Ishruna. Sab'un wa Ishruna. So this is the end of the exercises, and with this we are through with the exercises below the dialogue Al-Ma'malu, and inshallah here we are going to end our today's lesson. We hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you in our next lesson. Ma'as salamati ila al-liqa.